Hey, welcome back to edtech by Meera, and in today's session we are going to make a Python program for conversion. For conversion of what? For conversion of kilometer units to miles units. As we know, for example, speed of a running vehicle or something like that, or whatever it is, we need to know how many kilometers per second. It could be anything. It is actually a measurement unit. So kilometers versus miles. So it's anything to do with a measurement unit, right? So first and foremost, we need to create variables. So what's the first variable we create? Since we want to convert from kilometers to miles, we first create the kilometers variable. And since we want it to be user generated, that is, we prompt the user to enter the value, we will use the input function. And then we will use a float function because it could contain, it's a number which can contain, definitely which contains decimals. Yeah, so float function, inside that the input function, and then inside that the prompt statement, enter the value in kilometers. So this is for the user to enter whatever measurement unit measurement he has in kilometer, will enter the value there in order for it to convert. Then after that we create another variable called miles, and then we write the conversion ratio. So miles, the conversion ratio is 0.621371. So we write the relation miles equals kilometers multiplied by 0.621372 or 671, whatever, which is going to be the conversion ratio. Yeah, between miles and kilometers. So miles equals kilometers multiplied by 0.62137 or 71. That's okay. Up to 5 positions or 6 positions is okay. Not an issue after the decimal point. Okay. So first and foremost, you need to create the variable. 2 variables which are required, then you mention the relation between them using the conversion point. Then after that you have to make a print statement, right? So the print statement will be like, what is the converted value? So in order to show that, you can say something like, first you mention the kilometers variable because that was the original value, right? Which the user input. So we write the variable because we already defined the variable. So created and defined it. So print kilometers, which is a variable, comma. Then the string statement kilometers is equal to. For example, if the value was 70, then 70 kilometers is equal to. As you remember, variables will never be a string statement. Only the print statement will be in as a string. So, and then after that, comma, you need to write miles is equal to, then comma, after the string statement, comma, then remember the miles variable that we created. So you will write miles, which is the variable which will be the converted value after using the formula above. Yeah, and then the string statement miles. So that you will say, for example, 70 kilometers is equal to so and so miles, something like that. Yeah, so this is the idea of writing the print statement here, so that the solution of the problem will be exactly printed out for the user to see the value of the conversion and to see the value before conversion. Like before conversion it was in kilometers, and then after conversion in miles, so it will print out that statement. And then if you see, there you go. There, enter the value in kilometers. So whatever value is there, say 70, there you go, equal 70 kilometers equal 43.4959 miles. Simple, as simple. Then enter the value, try one more, maybe 1, just to see the ratio. There you go, is 0.621371 miles. Even that ratio, the conversion ratio is mentioned, the point. So now it's working. You know that your formula is working, you know your code block is working. Now, this is a simple way of doing it using variables, but what if you want to do it using the define function? For usually simple one we don't do, but I am making you do this the define function also for simple calculations. Why? So that for complex ones you can make it easier for you. So I want to do this all conversions inside a function called conversion. You can call it kilometers to miles, or you can just call it conversion. Name is not important. So I define a function and I give it a name of conversion, and then I do all this whatever calculations, I just do it inside. So for that, just take attention to what I'm doing. I pushed all my variables inside, because why I'm pushing it inside is because it has to remain inside the inside the define, inside the function. So indent block, make sure the indent block, you're putting it inside the function and it's not doing outside or same line of the function. There you go. Now let's check it out. And then after doing that, remember you have to call the function. What was the function name? Conversion. So I need to call the function. How do you call it? Write the name of the conversion, and then this function is written this way, right? This is the function, conversion. Earlier we defined it. Then go out of the function, define function, and then call the function conversion. Then the same thing, you can do the same thing. So just I showed you this so that you know in future when you get even more difficult calculations or project, this is the difference. First you do all the variables and all the blah blah whatever calculations, whatever loop or whatever, and then after that you can push it inside, or you can do it in the beginning. The reason you can do it in the beginning, you can do it later, but the reason I showed you is what is the difference when you do it without the defined function and when you do it with inside the defined function. I want to show you the difference. That's the reason I did it this way, because many beginners get confused when you do define conversion and then when you put this inside you can make mistakes. So that's why I showed you what is the difference. First you have to take care of the indentation when you are doing your other variable calculation, if loop or whatever inside. You have to make sure the indent goes inside the function and not outside or same block. And then after that you have to call the function. If you notice, when I call the function, I put it outside the defined function, the indent. Yeah, because you already finished all that, and then I take it outside and then say meaning the final. When you call the function, it has to be of course within the code block, but what I mean is after finishing all the calculations. You can't call the function before doing all the calculations. So finish all whatever you need to do, and then in the last step will be calling the function. And when you call the function, you can see the indent. It's in the same line as define. It's not inside the kilometer, mile. The variables, see the indent block of the variables, kilometers, miles, sprint statement. It is not within that. It is within the indent block of define. So you have to see that. When I change the name, see you in the next.